By 2-1. Let's just to remind you of what that means regarding Liverpool's position in the league. And Liverpool also looking to get themselves back in the top four. They're currently sitting 6th after that victory. 1 point behind Manchester United, 2 off Spurs in 4th. Well, Luis Garcias is with us, Stevie Nicol as well. Stevie, another tough watch for a Liverpool fan.
Oh, it was hard work. Well, it was hard work on the field and hard work off it, actually sitting watching it. You know, horrible defending. Listen, you can say it's good football from Leicester and a good finish from Dewsbury Hall, but defensively it's an absolute disaster. An absolute cavernous hole in the middle and the back. Van Dijk basically ball watching, because if he's watching what's going on around him, then he sees that Dewsbury Hall is coming late and should have stepped off. But from there on, yes, you can say Liverpool were after Leicester, but not in a lot of style. A lot of huff and a lot of puff. Nunez, for me, no question, was the thorn again for Leicester. Yes, he didn't finish, but he was the man. When there was ever anything going on for Liverpool going forward, he was right in the middle of it. I thought he was unlucky with his chip that came off the post. I thought he did show composure there to actually dink it over the goalie. But he needn't have worried, because Mr. Fast was there to finish it off. As far as the first one that Fast puts in, he absolutely deserves all he gets. Listen, it's an absolutely horrendous piece of defending from a guy in the Premier... And a Premier League player... completely... No, you talk about Nunez not having composure in front of goal. Well, defenders have to have the same, the other way round. And this is absolutely horrendous. A wild swipe, comes off his shin or his shin pad, up and over the goalie and back under the crossbar. Listen, when you defend like that, you deserve all you get. So, Liverpool win. They won against Villa. Nothing to write home about. But you know what? It's 6 points, another 3 against Leicester. It's 6 points from the 2 games, and that's the only thing that really matters right now. But you got to think eventually they're going to have to start putting some sort of performance together, or even 10 or 15 minutes control of a game with some nice passing and controlling and movement, because it's just not happening right now.
Is that harsh for that first goal, Luis?
Yes, a little bit, yes. They were exposed. I think the first few minutes they were not into the game. I think the approach was a little bit soft. You can see that Van Dijk was complaining about the line going forward with him, but they don't know what he's going to do. It doesn't matter, because the player got in through him very easily. If the players on the line, they were at the same height, it was no difference of what happened right after. And it's true that not only that occasion, second half, in a couple of times also, there was a few gaps in between Matip and Van Dijk, also another one between Matip and Alexander Arnold, that today, I was mentioning before, he did also a very good job in that right side. I think was solid going forward and also in defense. And about Darwin, let me say that I like it. I enjoy watching him play today. Of course, everybody is asking for the finish, the end product. That's why Gakpo is arriving to Liverpool to show that, to bring that to the game, to add more goals from the midfield going forward. But today was unlucky because of the post, that chance goes forward, but also put a very good ball through the lines that no one saw. To allow Salah get into the box to go 1v1 with the keeper. And he didn't finish, and no one said anything about it. So I think it was a good game, and it's about, at the moment, it's about getting points. We cannot complain about if they are well or not. Sometimes you need this kind of luck to get 3 points and make this momentum. Liverpool needs a momentum to try to get into the top 4.
Don't forget, Wout Vaz had another one in the second half that wasn't an on-goal-esque. It was just
kind of kicked it up in the air.
Sort of not under any pressure with the ball over his shoulder. He had a little bit of pressure, but the Liverpool player was 3 or 4 yards off him, and he scuffed it back towards his goalkeeper, and it let Nunez in. I mean, his confidence is shot. Yeah, I mean, it was all a bit of a mess. But going back to 2 things. One, Leicester were demolished at home just a few days ago by Newcastle.
Yes.
So Newcastle made much easier work than Liverpool did, even though he made some changes because of that. And then the Liverpool goal, that goal from the Danny Ward kick, from his feet, from inside or around his own penalty box or inside his 6-yard box. Once Trent Alexander-Arnold pushes on, and they've pushed everybody on, and Matip's almost in the right back position, And Henderson's trying to drop in, and Van Dijk's trying to shuffle across a little bit, as Stevie said, he's ball watching. Then Andy Robertson as well, he has to tuck in. He's got to come round. Well, if he switches it over the other side of Robertson, they can get across. But he's almost 10 yards further forward than Van Dijk as well. So it was so lopsided. And I saw a start from somebody saying in 2022, I think Liverpool were either the top or joint top at losing goals in the first 5 minutes of games.
Right.
So it's clearly they've not really been switching on. And the two games they've played, Villa, who I know Stevie and I talked about this game, who apart from their finishing played quite well, but they were abysmal in front of goal, Villa that was. And then Leicester today, final third again. If they were better, maybe Liverpool, it would have cost them. So yeah, they're in a decent position to challenge for the top four, but I wouldn't say they're playing great.
After scoring 2 own goals, Stevie, as a coach at half-time, would you be tempted to have taken face off?
No, absolutely not. That's the last thing I would do. Absolutely the last thing I do. He's a guy that's right now probably one of the first names on the team sheet with the injuries they have, particularly defensively. So you know you're putting your arm around him, saying, "Look, hey, it's the way it goes. Let's show us what you're made of." And that's not easy to do. You could see that he was a little hesitant. I'll be nice in the second half as well. There was a couple of things that he just didn't make good decisions on. But the last thing you do in a situation like that is take the player off. You got to let him play his way through it and play his way out of it. And I think to a certain extent he did that. He didn't collapse, but like most people, he was feeling a little bit of pressure after that.
And then how many days have to go by before you buy him a Liverpool shirt, Stevie?
I would suggest the next time they're in training, somebody gets a replica ball and gives it to him and say, "One more and you could have had this." Something like that. It'll just take the air out of him. I actually asked my son at half time, I said, if he scores another one, do they give him the ball? I don't think it's ever happened before. But
okay, walk in. Can you imagine Can you imagine he walked in the Leicester away dressing room with the ball? Scoring a hat-trick. All right, lads.
You'll sign this for me, boys.
Can you sign this for me, lads?
Yeah, I just said that. Okay. Well, thank you very much for watching ESPN on YouTube. For more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app. And for live streaming, premium content, and let's not forget as well, ESPN FC 7 days a week. Subscribe to ESPN Plus.